Hello and welcome to Sunlit Freedom, the only podcast in the world where every episode is out in the sun. On this episode, we're going to talk about an idea I have called Fool Me Twice, I Give Up. We've all heard the quote, um, Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. I want to take you a story which I'm going to start with in the financial system of India. So, in the financial system of India, a lot of households invest in something called mutual funds, and people don't come across this by themselves. It's never that somebody goes out into the world to search for a mutual fund to invest in. It's often through agent, salesperson, or the like. So, what ends up happening is there's a large complex in India around mutual funds that invest through agents. Now, every mutual fund in India tends to have a 2% a year fee. That's a lot. Now, let's say you're a young Indian that's trying to break free from this curse where everyone's paying their agents. You would think you would just open your bank account and try and invest from your bank account. This is where there's a crazy catch. In India, if you try to escape, let's say you're paying 2% to your agent, the salesperson, and you open your bank account and you say, okay, I'm going to do it to my bank. Your bank tricks you and it puts itself as the 2% so that you end up still paying the 2%. So what you actually have to do with mutual funds in India is you need to go to a bank's investment page and invest it there, and you can buy the exact same thing that you would have been able to buy without the 2% fee. So a person that wants to go away from this cage where they've been paying where they're paying extra fees, they know that they made a mistake by being in that situation to begin with. But when they try to avoid it, they're tricked again. It's stuff like this, it's stories like this, it's facts like this that and ended up creating the culture that exists in many parts of Asia and especially South Asia. Most people don't believe in facts or data by itself. Everybody tends to depend on somebody they trust, somebody close to them to help them. And I think part of it is because when you try things and when the system is designed to trick you, when you actually are avoiding agent fees and you try to buy a mutual fund through your bank and your bank puts itself as the mutual fund, you give up. It's basically where I get this idea from, which is fool me twice, shame, I basically give up. I give up. I'm not going to try this again. I was too wrong to think that I could escape the system. The system just hates me. What's the point of me trying? This is an idea which I think over the past years have spread everywhere. Everybody is now being surrounded by systems where high trust is collapsing. There's no reliability. The trust in what we believe we are getting, we all need to check the fine print all the time 24/7. Now, let's go back to the mutual fund example. It's not a small amount of money. So you would think, okay, just it's India, there's not a lot of money in that. It's actually the entire mutual fund complex in India converted to US dollars is 800 billion. So there's about $1 trillion of capital stuck in this. And so you could almost say there's nearly $1 trillion paying almost all their extra earnings to advisors, salespeople. Now, more than half, but the majority of it is in these regular funds. So a person needs to there's a solution out of this. And the one solution is to slow the hell down. It's not having knee-jerk selections of like, okay, open the website, click buy, done. No. I've been talking fast. Now let me slow it down. Slower. Okay, that's a lot slower. Now, when an Indian is dealing with this, all they have to do is just realize the word regular. They have the word regular and they have the word direct. All they need to do is slow down, sit down, read one or two blog posts, actually understand that, breathe in, breathe out, and that's it. They would never end up paying that 2% for a year for the rest of their life. They would be able to change. They would just open up whichever website they need to avoid it, and they would be fine. But notice that. Notice the shift in the way I was speaking. I was running very, very fast. And then I decided to slow it the hell down. Because we're surrounded by decisions where people feel like they need to be quick. They need to like get out. Like I'm overpaying 2%. Get me out of here. No, you don't have to do these things quickly. Slow down. Learn something like this every week, every month. Just open the website, look it on your own, and stop trusting the people around you. So, one of the things that happens in this is people don't believe things are possible until they've done it or someone close to them have done it. So, people tend to still live in this world where, yeah, I don't know if I should buy this because I can't trust it will be good. So I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to try it. Like I don't know if start a personal domain name is worth it. So don't fall for this trap of not pressing the button, which is the biggest strategy I've seen across Europe the past couple of months. Is every time I've talked about a certain artificial intelligence software, every European assumes it's a paid software. And I'm like, no, it's free. So every European is like, I don't want to use that because what if I suddenly get a huge charge in my bank account? And it's like, no, use it. Like, you will know when you're, like, if you slow down your life, you will know when something ends up being charged, which is you would know that only when you put your credit card and approve a subscription that you're going to be charged. So we need to slow all of these decisions down because the reason this conversation where almost $1 trillion is stuck in paying 2% to salespeople in India is because everybody has basically given up. Everybody believes that they tried and it didn't work. And the world is against them. So what's the point? What's the point of trying? What's the point of trying again? Made a mistake? What's the point? The whole world hates me. The whole world's out to trick me, to scam me. I'm never going to be able to read all the fine print. Just give up. And I do think we need to avoid that. I do think as a society, as the whole world becomes low trust, we don't want to be in this scenario. We want a different scenario. So here's an example which I've used in India. I think we need to expect more and have more courage of the people around us. So take something as simple as a life insurance policy. Almost every Indian in their family, they have this thing called a life insurance policy. You would not have that if you could do basic 5th grade maths, which is all you have to do is open that, look at the terms, run into Grok, run into ChatGPT if you have to, and say, is this a good investment from just a maths perspective? And it will tell you no. It will tell you that you should probably not have a life insurance policy. You should have a term insurance and a normal investment. So you should never combine those two. This is common knowledge on the internet, but every individual falls for it. So every individual believes, oh, my dad said this, my grandfather said that. I'm not going to fight the argument. I'm going to just waste money. And it's like, no, you need to start just saying the moment something doesn't make sense mathematically, I'm not going to do that. This is why most people would not complain about college debt, because they would just do maths, which is, if you could do maths, college debt is not a real issue because you would know whether it's a decision you should make or you should not. So the only people who believe either college debt is an issue or LIC is a normal thing to have are people who are doing one of two things. Either they don't know maths, possible, or they are acting as if the emotions of life, the emotions of the world, basically the equivalent of modern day religious beliefs of modernity, allows them to act as if maths doesn't matter. And it's fine, you can do that, but the maths is the maths. So at the end of the day, people can choose whether they want to stand up and just say, this is a bad thing, you're stupid for having it, or this, or and help people along the other part. Now, you don't want to be stuck. So what ends up happening with many of these ideas, let's say I've introduced a lot here. So I've given the example of mutual funds, I've given the examples of AI. What most people do is not actually read blog posts. It's not read articles. Most people hear something. Like, you'll hear me talk about this. And you're not going to like read about it for the next half an hour. You're just going to send this to a friend and say, hey, what do you think about it? What do you think? Like chill. Listen to this. Listen to another one of my episodes. Go for a walk. Try to understand the exact differential. Maybe read a blog post to understand what's the thing you're missing. And then just be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's actually quite simple. Alright, let's not fall for this fool me twice I give up world. Let's just try one more time. Let's find a solution that works and let's continue. Jeremy out.